Good morning, everybody. Today we'll be doing another double masters draft. Wow, I struggled with that a lot more than I should have. Not sure why. Today we have a pack one, pick one Avacyn, which honestly I want to try. Salvage Titan seems like a lot of fun, but I still haven't found a deck that I can make that one work in yet. I suspect it works in the Disciple of the Vault Sacrifice a bunch of artifacts deck, but I have not gotten that deck in its pure form yet. Sculpting Steel also pretty good, just 3 mana, clone an artifact. It's like half of a Phyrexian Metamorph, but it can be played in any color. I kind of like Sculpting Steel because it can clone powerful equipment and things. But I think I'm gonna take Avacyn, and I think I'm going to take Dire Fleet Hoarder or Fencing Ace. I haven't decided yet. Flicker Wisp also. I probably should just take Flicker Wisp. Like this. We're going to try this. I suspect there's sort of like a black-white reanimator-y style thing that we can do. Or like attrition. Bone Picker is good, but Cast Down is excellent. I'm not too huge on Bone Picker by itself. But if we have like a bunch of things that self-sacrifice or anything like that that cause really, really easy creature deaths, Bone Picker becomes very good. I have underrated Cast Down pretty much every single time I've ever seen it. And that's sort of because like when I played with it in the Dominaria draft, of which I actually went to a GP, and I was like just under or just over 128th in the limit. I was one round from actually placing and getting prize for the Dominaria one. I was not too big on Cast Down because there's so many legendary creatures in the format. Arkham Dagson, what do? Target creature sacrifices, or target artifact creature sacrifices it. They search for a non-creature artifact card. So he tinkers for non-creature artifacts, okay. I think I'm going to take another Flicker Wisp. There's a lot of tokens that this thing can just eliminate and be excellent for. In this pack, we have Selesnya Guildmage. I actually really like Selesnya Guildmage. I think it's quite powerful. If anything, it's just another double white card here. We could take Sanctum Spirit, because Sanctum Spirit is quite good. But I think I'm going to take the Guildmage. Meddling Mage. I don't know if we're blue-white. Crusader of Odric. I don't know if we're going to be able to go that white. I guess I just took a Selesnya Guildmage, so maybe. Also an Onaginata, which is really good with Flicker Wisps. Red-white has an equipment sub-theme, and we are basically mono-white with a Cast Down right now. I think I'm actually going to take the Onaginata here. Meddling Mage is good, but I think he's better in constructed formats than he is in limited. Rugged Prairie. I hate Volshot Gauntlets. I really do not like Volshot Gauntlets. I don't think this is a deck for Brainstorm. We could take Heartless Pillage. If we attack with a 2-drop and cast a Heartless Pillage on turn 3, that's really good. This card's really good if you turn on Raid. But I think taking Rugged Prairie and having the Fixin' open for like red-white is probably excellent. We do have an Onaginata. If we can get some of the equipment like Kazul Toll Collector and some of the other equipment-based guys, this deck could become very good. So we can take Joyous Familiar. That does reduce the cost of Avacyn, but I think in a general sense, Alabaster Mage is the best card in this pack for us. There's an argument to be made for Twisted Abomination, but Lifelink is very strong in just about every single limited format that exists, especially when you can grant Lifelink to your highest power creature. So we take Alabaster Mage. Alright, there is a Toll Collector here, and I was just talking about how the equipment sub-theme is probably where we want to go. Eager Construct is much easier to cast in pretty much any aggressive deck. I have actually played him a number of times where the scry has been better for my opponent than it's been for me. We're going to take the Toll Collector. Fencing Ace came all the way around. Absolutely no respect for Mr. Double Strike. Yeah, I'll take Fencing Ace. No respect for Alabaster Mage either. And it wants me to take Steel Sabotage. I think I'll take another Alabaster Mage. I like the idea of being mostly white with a light splash of red or black. And potentially, like, even if we get a single green source type thing going on for Selesnya Guildmage, that's also very good. Yeah, I'll take Heartless Pillage. Well, do we want Golem Skin Gauntlets? Golem Skin Gauntlets is very good with multiple equipment, and that's kind of the sub-theme we're going for. I think it's actually better than Heartless Pillage for us here. Heartless Pillage might actually be the better card, but yeah, I'll take Salivating Gremlins and Tamer Battle Rage. I really do not like Volshock Gauntlets, so I'll probably put them in the sideboard and not play them, but I think the card's fine. Okay, what are we dealing with here? Magus of the Abyss is very strong, especially in like an aggressive deck like ours. It does set us back a bit, but us sacking individual like tokens versus our opponent. Champion of Lambholt, unfortunately, we're not going to play. We're just not going to be that deep into green. I think I take Goblin Gavalier and Ancestral Blade. There's also an argument that I should take Galvanic Blast, but Goblin Gavalier is one of the best things to wield equipment in the format. Magus of the Abyss is very strong. If you play him in a deck with a lot of artifact creatures, he frequently targets himself, which is why he's way worse than Abyss, obviously. And playing him in a deck with a bunch of tokens, he can actually be quite good. I'm just not sure that this deck is going to be the deck for Magus. He's a good card, don't get me wrong. I just don't think I can use him effectively in this deck. Okay, so in this one, we have a Braid, Springleaf Drum. I'm not going to play Vexing Shusher. I really like... There's like 2 counterspells in this format, and it's Force of Will and Metallic Rebuke. Neither of which I would feel the need to shush most of the time. That's a very weird noise. It kind of took me by surprise, but Porter is trying to make his bed slightly more comfortable than it is. Yeah, I think we just take a Braid. None of the artifacts are good for us here. Sanctum Spirit would be good, but we have a number of creatures already. Okay. What are we looking at here? Rolling Earthquake is X creature with X damage to each creature without horsemanship and each player. So it's been pointed out to me that this card is effectively a fireball and a board wipe. I still think a Braid or Ancestral Blade is better for us than Rolling Earthquake is, but I can understand why having a board wipe would be very good. There's also the like extremely slight chance that we get Avacyn out without cheating her out, and we can just Rolling Earthquake and all of our guys have Indestructible, and it's hooray, game over. But I think Ancestral Blade or a Braid is what we should take here. If we take Ancestral Blade, a Braid or Salivating Gremlins could come around. If this deck was any more controlling, or like heavy mid-rangey, I would take Rolling Earthquake. But it is not. Okay, so in this pack we have Galvanic Blast, Stonehewer Giant, and Blade Splicer. So it's worth noting with Blade Splicer we have 2 Flicker Wisps to like buy back Blade Splicer. I don't think we're playing Cast Down, by the way. Stonehewer Giant, on the other hand, could get our Ancestral Blades or our Golem Skin Gauntlets, as well as automatically attach it to stuff. I think I gotta take Stonehewer here, because if we get a good equipment pack 3, this is gonna be nuts. It's also possible we could take Blade Splicer and Stonehewer will come all the way around, which would be absurd. I'm actually gonna take Blade Splicer. I think Blade Splicer is a little better, despite the automatic suggestion not believing me. Valorous Stance is a great combat trick, especially in a deck like this. Fencing Ace is not bad either, because we have 4 equipments that are very good. I kind of want to take Ancestral Blade, because just spamming Ancestral Blade and equipping it all to Goblin Gavalier seems like a good way to win. So I think I'm going to do that. I actually think Ancestral Blade is better here. Sun Forger. Okay. Now we're starting to get into the realm of a little bit silly. So Sun Forger equips for a ton of power. We have a Toll Collector to cheat the equip cost. If Stonehewer Giant comes around and we get a Sun Forger, that's excellent. There's also a Pyrite Spellbomb, but like this can tutor up Battle Rage and kill somebody, or a Braid, and like it's just like free removal at that point out of our deck. It's good card advantage, and it's card advantage in Boros, so we're taking Sun Forger. A Weapons Trainer. So this guy is effectively an Anthem for the low price of did you cast an equipment this game. So yes. Absolutely going to take this. Unfortunately, there's a Salivating Gremlins and a Sickle Slicer in this pack, but Weapons Trainer is the pick. Oh my god, Kemba. Create a 2/2 cat creature for each equipment attached to Kemba, and there's also Puresteel Paladin. Okay, I have to go Puresteel Paladin. I really wish I could take Kemba. Like, if we could have both of these cards, we would win this draft, like, hands down. Puresteel Paladin is generically more powerful because we're going to be drawing a lot of cards. Kemba just goes so wide, though. I gotta go Puresteel simply because it's cheaper. I don't actually know which the better pick was there, and I really wish we could have taken both, because good god, that would be insane. I'm gonna take a Mirror Retriever. Probably not gonna end up playing that one, though. Still not taking Vexing Shusher. Sanctum Spirit's the way to go. Dismantle probably for sideboard purposes. I don't think I would play Iron Bully, and we're not playing 2 Tamer Battle Rages. Glint Sleeve Artisan's okay. Battle Rattle Shaman or Dread Return. We'll take Battle Rattle. Unfortunately, we're probably not playing Avacyn. I was hoping to take I was hoping when I took her to kind of go into a black-white attrition with maybe some Reanimator elements. But then we started getting past really good equipment, and I was like, nah, let's Voltron. Okay. So in this pack, we have... unfortunately, there's an Oubliette. Man, if we'd have been in black-white, we could take Beacon of Unrest, Oubliette, or Beacon of Unrest, or Oubliette and Morkrut Banshee, and just had removal for days. Ion Storm, remove a 1/1 counter or a charge counter and shock anything. Unfortunately, I don't think we get 1/1 counters or charge counters on anything at all. Which means our best picks in this pack are probably Sanctum Spirit or Remember the Fallen. This really sucks, but like, what can you do, right? Iron League Steed is also not bad. There's no living weapon equipment in this pack. Remember the Fallen is good because it can get us back 2 things, but I still think this is probably the way to go. Feels really bad passing on both rares and all the uncommons because they're just too far out of reach. Alright. Hammer of Nazan. When Hammer of Nazan or another equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach that equipment to a creature you control. Also, the equipped creature has +2/+0 and has Indestructible. That seems really good. Just whenever you play an equipment, it automatically attaches. There's also a Kazul's Toll Collector and an Onaginata in this pack that we would like to pick up both of, but if either one of those comes around, that would be excellent. I'm almost more tempted to take the Toll Collector than I am to take the Hammer, but I think the Hammer is where we gotta be on this one. Does its effect trigger for itself? When Hammer of Nazan enters the battlefield, you may attach... oh yeah, no, so it attaches itself. Perfect. Oh man, that seems excellent. This is the most Voltron-y deck that ever Voltroned, minus Kemba. I hope somebody else opens a Kemba and passes it around this table in pack 3, because that would just be excellent. Let's see. Boon Reflection, if you would gain life, gain twice that much life instead. This card is better when it's called Rock's Faithmender. I don't know if you've ever played a game where there's 2 Rock's Faithmenders on the battlefield, but you gain like 30 life a turn just from lifelinking with 1/5s. I think I'm going to take probably a Rapacious Dragon, actually. We could take Weapon Surge, but I'm gonna go with the Dragon. Goblin Guide. It's also Darksteel Axe. Goblin Guide is the most aggressive creature, by far. Darksteel Axe is one of the better equipments in the format. We don't have that many we actually have a ton of creatures, and our Ancestral Blades are like also creatures. This is kind of tough. I think I'm going to take the Guide, just because we want to do as much damage as fast as we can with this deck. Another Toll Collector. I'll take a Toll Collector. Valor and Akros is very good, especially with things like Ancestral Blade and just making a bunch of tokens, but we are very quickly, or we are very distinctly red-white Voltron. I mean, Salvage Titan, we could technically sack 3 equipments and put Salvage Titan into play. I don't think that's good. Cathartic Reunion's probably the best card for us, or Weapon Surge is. You know what, I'll take Weapon Surge. We might want that for the sideboard. If we come up against an, what do you call it, another aggro deck that goes wide, we can win combat basically by doing that if our equipment isn't for some reason. Crib Swap is actually pretty decent removal, and we can get it off of Sunforger, so I think, yeah, we'll take Crib Swap. Graven Cairns. We have a reason to splash for black other than Cast Down. I don't think so. Which probably just means I should take Crusader of Odric. Yeah, we'll take Crusader of Odric. I'm still gonna take, I think, Remember the Fallen. We could have taken Graven Cairns and played Dread Return, but no. Alright, Kazul's Toll Collector came around. Perfect. I guess Balduvian Rage draws a card and can pump double striking creatures, but we're probably not playing either of those anyway. Skinbrand Goblin could be good. And Fortify because we go wide. Alright. Holy crap, that's a ton of playable cards. I have to cut cards that are like any amount of medium right now. Apprentice Wizard we're not playing. Sorry, Goth Angel Mom. I love you, Avacyn, but this isn't the deck for you. Okay, take out Rugged Prairie for a minute and group creatures separately. Nice try, but Ancestral Blades are actually creatures. Okay. No Remember the Fallen, no Balduvian Rage. Fine, fine. Fortify. Actually, Fortify, depending on how many creatures we have, Fortify could be very good. Unfortunately, I think I have to cut Selesnya Guildmage. But we'll see. Okay, Battle Rattle is kind of expensive. Same with Rapacious Dragon. We have 21 creatures before even counting the Ancestral Blades. So we have 24 creatures in this deck. Oh man, okay. Okay, we're not playing Crusader. We're not playing Glint Sleeve. I'm gonna cut Skinbrand and Selesnya Guildmage right now. Iron League Steed is good with Salivating Gremlins. Salivating Gremlins is good because it gives itself trample most of the time if we played an equipment this turn. Sanctum Spirit is a ton of lifelink, but and it gives itself indestructible, of course. So it's an excellent thing to wield a bunch of equipment. But we do have 2 Alabaster Mages. Let's see. We're only ever going to need single red, so it's not like white mana is a concern. Because we could be much heavier white than red. We only need to cut 4 cards. I'm going to cut a Sanctum Spirit. And I'm going to cut an Alabaster Mage. The reasoning behind that is we're very aggressive. There's a very tightly packed curve around 2 and 3. We're not going to run out of stuff to do. We should be aggressive enough to pretty much always have a 2-drop and always have a 3-drop play. Whether or not we have a 1-drop in our hand is going to dictate how fast our games go. Because, like, if we can play 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, and then 2 2-drops, yeah, I think we're going to win this. I think we're going to win pretty much every game that happens. If Puresteel is in the mix and there's any amount of equipment happening, yeah, we're going to win. Short of multiple Wrath of Gods and Austere Commands. So I need to cut 2 cards. And really, I just want to cut these 2. Because right now we have 18 creatures. And if we can curve out at 3, then I can really justify just playing 16 land. Iron League Steed is good because it has haste. You know what? Let's do it. Equipment Voltron. I'm so sad we couldn't get Kemba. Because Kemba is just so good. I think if you're going equipment and you have to choose between Kemba and Puresteel, Puresteel will win you the game a lot harder. Because Puresteel comes down a turn earlier, draws you more cards in case it gets removed. Like, yeah, I think I made the right call there, but if I'm getting yelled at in the comments in this video, that's why, probably. Unless I really botched my plays beyond this. Alright. Red-White Equipment Voltron. I'll see you guys in round 1. Alright, here we go. Round 1. Oh man, if this was a red land, or we had 2 land, this hand would be amazing. We got a mulligan. Alright, we're gonna mulligan again. Okay, I can work with this. We'll keep. I'm going to put back Mountain and Mountain. If we draw land, this hand becomes much better. Pyrite Spellbomb makes our hand a lot worse. So play a Plains. I'm gonna play a Mountain. We draw Hammer of Nazan. So we're gonna play Ancestral Blade because if it dies, the equipment sticks around. It doesn't just immediately get destroyed like Fencing Ace does. I'm gonna crack Spellbomb to draw a card. Interesting. They have a Shock or a Galvanic Blast? Are they not worried? Probably the latter. Okay, I'm gonna play an island. O Stone. Okay, we draw a mountain. Play a mountain. Go to combat. Attack for 2. We can't just not play into an O-Stone, so unfortunately I think we have to. We have to play enough stuff that opponent cracking O-Stone seems valuable. Okay, opponent plays a mountain. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about whether or not they should be playing stuff. Mere Retriever is a good card to play into O-Stone. We draw a Goblin Cavalier. I think we're going to start holding stuff back at this point. Okay, opponent trades with a 1/1. They're going to pick up Spell Bomb. And we're going to pass. They thirst for knowledge. So if they're looking for a land, they discard Bosch. They probably have Argivian Restoration. They replay Spell Bomb. It gives them the option of cracking O-Stone or shocking something if it was like immediately dangerous to them. I've got the feeling I should play something. Problem is the only things I can play die immediately to being shocked. So let's attack first. At our opponent for 4. I think because we have Hammer of Nazan, I'm actually going to play out Kazul's Toll Collector here. If our opponent cracks O-Stone... Okay, they're going to crack O-Stone. If our opponent cracks O-Stone and we draw land, we can play Cavalier Fencing Ace, and then we can Hammer of Nazan and suit something up automatically. Another Pyrite Spellbomb is pretty bad for us. So, play Cavalier, play Fencing Ace. Both of these should be pretty scary given what our deck does. We need to draw a land, though. Cathartic Reunion, discarding Shroom. Oh gosh, okay, well if they have Restoration, they're going to reanimate 2 gigantic artifact creatures. They trash for Treasure a Spellbomb, getting back Shroom. Bosh. Well then, that's a problem. Draw a land. Play a land. Play Hammer of Nazan. Equip it to Fencing Ace. Okay, we are going to take a lot of damage. Hopefully we can draw like a 3-mana equipment or less. I think Sunforger here would be excellent, because then we could suit a bunch of stuff up onto an indestructible Fencing Ace. The hammer itself does not have indestructible. Worth noting. Treasure Mage. Okay, scary. Sandstone Oracle for our opponent. Alright. Opponent hits us for 5 in the air. We go to 15. Kuldultha Forge Master. So the problem is our opponent can just pay 4 mana, or pay 8 mana and kill us next turn. So play Onaginata. Equip it to Fencing Ace. Ancestral Blade is only +1/+1, but twice. Yeah, Fortify is better here. So go to combat. Attack. I probably should have attacked with Goblin Cavalier because it has trample. Yeah, I definitely should have. So opponent is going to take 1 over the top and then take 6. So Fortify is lethal. And we were dead on untap because our opponent could just fling their board. I did not expect to win that game. That was a clinch game for sure. Okay. Do we have any artifact creatures? We have Iron League Steed. Unfortunately, the only artifact removal we have is Dismantle, and that would be way better if we had an artifact creature of any kind that was playable. We technically could have not Crib Swap. We could have Glint Sleeve Artisan in the deck, and that would give us a servo. We don't work off of charge counters. I don't know if we want to be playing a 3-mana artifact destruction spell. It's possible that we do. It might just be better, though, for us to just try and run our opponent over. I don't think we should be doing that. I don't think we should take a turn off to cast a 3-mana Dismantle. Like, they have O-Stone, but I don't know what the odds that they have O-Stone every single game are, and we beat an O-Stone that game. So, let's see what happens. Hopefully we get a better starting hand. Yeah, I think this is actually quite good. We're going to keep. We're going to pray we draw another Plains. Opponent starts Island. Draw Battle Rage. Start Plains. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Mountain. And an Everflowing Chalice kicked once. We draw Onaginata. Okay. Play Fencing Ace. Pass the turn. Opponent sifts. Discarding an island. Land. Plains. Perfect. Play Puresteel Paladin. Play Onaginata. Always yes, always yield. That draw was huge. Attack for 2. Okay, opponent plays an island. Treasure Mage. We're gonna go get Sandstone Oracle. Okay, we untap. Draw a Mountain. So we play a Mountain. Play Ancestral Blade. Draw a card. It's another Toll Collector. Equip the Double Striker. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Well, attack for 4, actually, but... Okay. Opponent thirsts for knowledge. Discarding Sandstone Oracle. I think my opponent is going to be very dead unless they have interaction. Technically, that is interaction, yes. We untap, we draw planes. Play planes. So we can equip here, and Teamer Battle Rage while swinging everything. What is that? 3, 6, 12 with trample. Our opponent takes a turn off, we build a wide board. Yeah, let's do that. This seems good. Yeah, nice try though. Opponent goes to 1. And they play a land. They main phase an O-Stone activation, sure. And they play a Corridor Monitor. And we draw planes. Play planes. Play Blade Splicer. Get a Golem. Play Toll Collector. Pass the turn. Man, that extra card advantage from Puresteel really got the job done. Opponent's gonna have something very good here. They're a land away from Trash for Treasure activate O-Stone. Blasphemous Act. Wow. Oh, we got a Toll Collector. They're at 1. Clone Shell. Okay. We need to give this trample. They discarded 2 Trash for Treasures to a Cathartic Reunion. We draw Goblin Gavalier. Play Goblin Gavalier. Equip it. The equipment doesn't boost toughness, so it's better on the Goblin Gavalier because we're not attacking this turn. Opponent is going to have to play enough toughness to block a Gavalier or have removal for it. This mitigates the whole Clone Shell shenanigans. Alright, opponent has a Lightning Axe. Discarding Bosch. Unfortunately, we didn't take a Galvanic Blast, so we don't have any reach, which is going to be a major weakness for this deck, it feels like. Argivian Restoration, they pick up Bosch. And they play a Mountain. They are out of cards. Opponent attacks for 2. I don't think I'm willing to trade. Problem is, if they hit us with Bosch, we're probably just dead. They're going to sack Clone Shell. Fey Mechanist, okay. Just need a way to push through 1 damage. Opponent goes and picks up Shroom. Oh, okay, never mind. They targeted there. We get hit for 8. They can do 8, 12 damage. That's lethal. So close. So close. Okay. Do we have any reach as far as direct damage anywhere in our deck? Answer to that question is no. We do not have a single point of direct damage that can go to our opponent's face. That sucks. I think I am going to bring in Dismantle. Question is, what do I bring it in over? And the answer is, I have no idea. I mean, maybe we just bring in Remember the Fallen. Nah, I think we just have to be fast. Alright, we'll play first. Well, we have a curve. Start Gavalier. When it starts Island, Pyrite Spellbomb. Okay, we do draw Puresteel Paladin. So go to combat, attack for 1. Play Alabaster Mage. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an Island. And a Corridor Monitor. Okay. Kind of hoping my opponent does not have red mana. So I think playing Puresteel and playing the equipment is the correct play this turn. It's super awkward because Naginata can't go onto anything. We could play the Toll Collector, I guess, but it would also get spellbombed. I guess that's better than losing Puresteel. Okay, pass the turn. If my opponent doesn't have red mana this turn, our next turn gets way better. There's red mana. Opponent plays Mirror Retriever. Okay. So it depends on what they Pyrite Spellbomb and if they do it now or on our turn. Because taking out Toll Collector is bad, yeah, but it's better than them taking out Puresteel. Hammer of Nazan. So we're playing land this turn. We have 2 lines. We can play Puresteel, play Onaginata, and not attack. Or we can play Hammer of Nazan, suit up Gavalier for an indestructible 5-1 that will get in damage and make our following plays better. We miss out on a draw from Puresteel by doing this, but we get in damage and we need to start getting in a lot of damage very quickly. Also, if we have leftover mana next turn, like if we draw on other planes, we can start lifelinking this, which will be fantastic. They can't just Pyrite Spellbomb it either, which is really great. Okay, opponent goes to 14, no blocks. They did not Mirror Retriever Pyrite Spellbomb. Very Mechanist. Opponent finds... Ensnaring Bridge? You're joking. Tamer Battle Rage. Can we kill our opponent? If I play Ancestral Blade, and it equips here, that's +3/+1. It becomes an 8/2. And if I play Onaginata, it becomes even bigger. But is that worse than drawing cards? I can't believe my opponent has an Ensnaring Bridge. We're going to need to draw cards. I should have brought in Artifact Destruction, but there's no way I was going to play around an Ensnaring Bridge I haven't seen. I was like, if it's just the big creatures, we can probably get by. Alright, hang on. Math. So this is +5/+0. That makes this a 10-1. And this is +3/+1, and that makes this a 13 power creature. If we play them both, they get automatically equipped and we get a 1/1 token. We can attack our opponent down to 1. If we play Puresteel and we play Onaginata, we can hit our opponent for 10 and draw a card. We can't kill them this turn, so I think it's better to Puresteel and get an extra draw trying to hit a land. If we hit a plains, we can do both. So equip Goblin Gavalier. Draw a card. Okay, go to combat. Attack with a 10-1 Indestructible. Opponent throws a bunch of stuff under the bus. Opponent takes 4. So if all they do this turn is play Ensnaring Bridge, they have 4 cards in hand, which we can probably manipulate our equipment so that multiple things can attack. Okay, they played land Ensnaring Bridge. They have 3 cards in hand. Creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can't attack. So things with power 3 can attack. Okay, we will draw a card. Get up. Oh, okay, well, didn't know that's how that works, but doesn't really matter. Okay, everything has equip 0. So we need to get everything's power down to the minimum amount. Onaginata, basically whatever that's equipped to, can't attack. So Hammer of Nazan gives +2/+0. If we equip that on a soldier, we can equip Ancestral Blade here. We can equip Ancestral Blade here. Onaginata we can then equip to a soldier. We can move the hammer and Onaginata should fall off. Oh no, it keeps it. Interesting, okay. Well, go to combat. Attack for 7. Opponent probably trades with the 1/1. Yep. Nope. Yep. This does let them get back Corridor Monitor, but it also puts another card in their hand. They're going to pick up Spellbomb. Okay. Pass the turn. They draw a card, up to 5, down to 4. They play Spellbomb. If they get down to 2 cards in hand or 1 card in hand, we should be able to still kill them, I think. Trash for treasure, getting back Mirror Retriever. I just did that to get a card out of their hand. Okay, we untap. We draw Fencing Ace. Play a mountain. Equip here. Equip here. Equip here. It's not like we can equip at instant speed. Puresteel Paladin's not that crazy. So we attack, opponent blocks Alabaster Mage, picks up Spellbomb again, takes 3 and goes to 1. Oh man, I've got a feeling we're going to lose to Ensnaring Bridge, and it feels so bad. Play Ancestral Blade. Okay, we draw Goblin Guide. Play Fencing Ace. I'm going to hold Goblin Guide. It's not like we can get them to draw more cards, so they can get down to 2 cards in hand at least. Okay, they thirst for knowledge. Oh, I should have ended the turn with Hammer of Nazan on Puresteel. That's a mistake. Opponent discards Island Island. So they can play a 1-drop, go to 2 cards in hand, and then whatever else they have in their hand. I'm glad that we have 1-power creatures, let me say that. Opponent can't empty their hand, so they concede. Oh, man. We beat an Ensnaring Bridge. That's not something I thought we could do, nor would we see. So yeah. Alright, I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright, round 2, here we go. Would love to play first. Alright, we have a curve, and not a half bad one at that. Any equipment makes this hand much better. And our deck has a lot of equipment. Opponent mulligans to 6, which is always good news for us, especially in an aggressive deck like ours. One of the biggest problems you have when you're playing an aggro deck is if your opponent has a lot of card advantage and gets to cards that they need to counter an aggro deck, you're in trouble. So the less cards they start with, the better your deck is by default. So we start Goblin Cavalier, pass to our opponent. We don't really have any decisions to make in this hand. So far, opponent starts Mountain and passes. We draw Rugged Prairie. So play Plains, go to combat, attack for 1. Problem with having a mustache is randomly hair will appear in your mouth that has no explanation for how it got there. Play Weapons Trainer, pass the turn. So we're still on the kind of hope to draw an equipment plan. Opponent plays a Glaze Fiend, which is a 2-mana 0/1, which means our opponent is currently losing the aggro race. We draw Plains. Play a Mountain, play Toll Collector, and attack with impunity. Still no decisions made yet. Like Rugged Prairie made our mana base decision, or made our mana base completely lack decisions as well. Because like we could start red land, and even if we'd drawn Puresteel, play Puresteel, which is pretty excellent actually. Okay, opponent plays a swamp, 3 mana, Salivating Gremlins. Alright, so next turn they're going to play a bunch of artifacts and try and combo kill us. I think that would be like their best line, right? We draw our own Salivating Gremlins. I think we just attack with our Weapons Trainer and Toll Collector, and whatever, if they block anything, they're going to trade. And they're still going to take 3. So, yeah, let's do it. Attack, attack. Man, if we had a single equipment right now, our hand would be so much better. Opponent does not block. Interesting. I think we're going to play like we're going to draw an equipment, so we're going to play Salivating Gremlins, because it's slightly better than Toll Collector if we draw an equipment next turn. It also blocks by 1 point better for the trample, which I really hope is not relevant, but it could be relevant. Alright, so opponent plays a Mountain. They play a Darksteel Axe. Alright. That pumps the team quite significantly. And they cast a Pyrewild Shaman and just attack for 2. Okay, that could have been way worse. It only has 2 cards in hand. We can only draw lands. If we attack with everything, opponent can just get a free block on Cavalier, trade, and take 5 or 6. So there's an argument to be made about attacking with everything except Cavalier. Yeah, I think we do that. So go to combat, and we will attack with everything except Cavalier. Awesome. I've been having trouble with the YouTube uploader. This is kind of off topic. I've been having trouble with the YouTube uploader not processing my videos, and yesterday's video, if you're watching this when this came out, just went up. And if you haven't seen that video, please go watch it if you like Double Masters. That video is crazy. Oh crap, I should have played Toll Collector. That's what I get for being distracted. Sorry, I'll focus. I mean, if we draw an equipment, our opponent's just like dead anyway. Okay, opponent plays a Mountain. That's good news, because that means they don't have a bunch of crazy artifacts to play and deal a ridiculous load of damage to us. Okay, opponent suits up Glaze Fiend, so it looks like they're going to hit us for 2 and pay 3 to pick up Pyrewild Shaman. They don't attack. Okay, so they know they have to block. We know that we're only drawing lands. We can't attack as freely this time. We could have if I played Toll Collector, so hopefully that does not bite us. We're just going to run out of Toll Collector and pass. Any equipment, I'm pretty sure, is lethal. Any of them. Because any equipment gives Salivating Gremlins trample and can be equipped to Goblin Cavalier for massive damage with trample. So, I do love Glaze Fiend aggro, by the way. Like, okay, Chromatic Star, because like you can do absurd things with a Glaze Fiend. And there's like, it's almost aggro combo where it does sort of like a huge pump turn, almost like in a Tog. Okay, opponent gets in for 4. We're not blocking / can't block. I think if my opponent pays to pick up a Pyrewild Shaman, it's game over. Okay, they don't. Crack for red, draw a card, they play a land. We have something like 8 equipments in our deck, so it's almost a 1 in 3 chance to draw an equipment here. Ugh, come on! Alright, play planes. Do we attack? So if we attack with Toll Collector, Gremlins, Toll Collector, they block Toll Collector, and trade with both. Then take 2. They go to 4. We'd lose 2 guys. If we attack with everything, they block here, they block here, they would take 5. No, they can't do that. Because they recognize that Salivating... Yeah, we just attack with everything. And unless our opponent has some really good top decks, we're just going to beat them. They will get to recycle a Pyrewild Shaman, which I didn't really account for, but also I don't really think I need to account for it. Yeah, they have to block like that. We lose our guys, they lose their guys, and they take 3 and go to 3. They have Battle Rage. Oh, okay. Well, that means that we're not dying to massive pump aggro. And it just means they get to keep their Salivating Gremlins, and I'm still confident that just about any equipment is lethal, unless they hold back exclusively. 4 mana... Oh, crap. That is massive damage. 4, 8... That's lethal. That's exactly lethal. Are you kidding me? This is so stupid. It's 6, 12, 14 exactly. Wow. So, I want to note that if we drew an equipment at any point in that game, our opponent would have just died, like 5 turns ago. I think we might have drawn 1 Toll Collector, but other than that, we were on the play, so we drew 6 lands. We basically drew 6 lands. Might have been 5, but it felt like 6. Okay, I really don't think we need a Weapon Surge or a Dismantle. I genuinely believe we just run our opponent over. So I'm going to bring in Alabaster Mages and Sanctum Spirits, because those cards are going to break the symmetry that we're fighting against here. So, group creatures separately. I'm going to drop... I kind of want to drop Fortify, actually. I think I drop a Fortify, and I drop Salivating Gremlins. This is still 41 cards. I need to cut another card. Maybe I don't bring in the Alabaster Mage. Maybe I just bring in the 2 Sanctum Spirits. Okay, we're going to try it like this. I know I made my curve less aggressive, but I genuinely think that if we get some lifelink onto the battlefield that has Indestructible behind it, we're probably going to win. Alright, we have a 1, a 2, and good 3s, so we're keeping. Start Mountain Goblin Guide. Go to combat, get in for 2. Okay, opponent drew a Skinbrand Goblin. They start Mountain Goblin Cavalier. We untap, draw Puresteel. So go to combat, attack for 2. Okay, opponent drew a Mountain. No blocks. Okay, because we're not holding any equipment, I think we play Weapons Trainer. Puresteel gets better if we can play an equipment the same turn. Blade Splicer is good because it's going to put some first strike onto the battlefield to make our opponent think twice about attacking on the ground. Okay, opponent plays a Mountain. They play Skinbrand Goblin. And no attacks. We draw. Mountain. Please don't do this again to me, game. Play Blade Splicer. Question is, do we still attack? I think the answer is no. Because at best, our opponent takes 2 damage, and we lose our 3-2. You know what? No, we still need to attack. Tamer Battle Rage on top. Opponent gets a pretty good trade. Takes 2. Okay. Opponent draws a Tamer Battle Rage. Plays another Skinbrand Goblin. Let us draw one of our million equipments, please. Ridiculous. Okay, go to combat. Attack for 3. Because my opponent's not drawing lands, I'm going to stop attacking with Goblin Guide until the way is clear for Goblin Guide to attack with impunity. We're going to play a Rugged Prairie, and we're going to play a Toll Collector. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Flare Husk. Gets a 1-1. Okay, equipment, please. I mean, it's not equipment, but it is a 4-drop, which is kind of the next best thing here. Go to combat. We're definitely attacking here. Yeah, I think we're just attacking there. Opponent can chump with the germ token, but that's fine. Play Sanctum Spirit. Equipment, equipment, my kingdom for equipment. We have 3 Ancestral Blades, Golem Skin Gauntlets, O Naginata, Hammer of Nazan, and a Sunforger? So we have like 7 equipments in the deck. Alright, opponent got mana screwed. That's 2 games in a row. We haven't seen a single equipment in our equipment deck. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 equipment and can't draw 1. This makes me very upset. Alright, we're going to run it back. And hopefully we get a combination of land, creatures, and equipment. It's like having a BLT without any B. It's just a lettuce and tomato. There's an equipment. This hand is not particularly great, but we have both colors of mana and 1 piece of equipment that grants a lot of power. And we can at least put that power on things that are going to have a lifelink. Draw Blade Splicer. Blade Splicer is good. We're going to start Plains, pass the turn. Opponent started Expedition Map. If they take a turn off to crack Expedition Map, we're probably fine. Because that's going to greatly limit my opponent's aggression for a long period of time. If you're playing aggro versus aggro, you want to be developing the board. Okay. Opponent plays a Skinbrand Goblin. We draw another Plains. We're very good at that. Play Plains. Pass the turn. The good news is Sunforger can let us... We can't get Crib Swap, unfortunately, but we can get a Braid with it. Opponent plays a Mountain. Attacks. Well, we are not going to block. They play a Salivating Gremlins. Okay, we untap. We draw a Mountain. Play a Mountain. Play Blade Splicer. So even if our opponent can pump Gremlins, we can stonewall them on the ground. Opponent plays a Swamp. Okay, Chromatic Star. This is only kind of bad if they have Battle Rage. If they have Battle Rage, they'll still trade, and we'll take a little bit of damage. Okay, they crack for black. We're going to draw a card. They crack Map. Okay. This opponent has a Mountain in hand. Opponent goes to combat. They certainly have, with this attack, a Skinbrand Goblin. We could trade our token and our Golem. Actually, if we double block, even if they have Skinbrand Goblin, the best they do is trade, and it limits their most dangerous creature. I actually think I'm willing to make that trade. They can't give it first strike, as far as I'm aware, unless they have Weapon Surge, and in which case we still trade with them. So no matter what trick they have here, if they're bluffing a trick, they lose, and no matter what trick they have here, we should trade. Okay, yep. That also gets rid of a creature out of their hand, when our opponent is already limited on resources much more than we are, which is a very big deal. Sweet. Yeah, we got out of that, like, way ahead. I think that was a bad attack. It might have been one our opponent had to make, but I don't think it was good. Okay, play a Mountain. Play Sanctum Spirit. We have 2 indestructible activations, which probably means I'm going to discard Sunforger, because I would much rather my Sanctum Spirit have Trample. The opponent plays a Mountain. We knew they had that. No attacks for our opponent. So that's the one bad thing about Blood Rush, is if you're in a matchup where having a number of creatures matter, you're going to be kind of stuck if you run out of creatures. So you have to make the decision about whether the short-term game is worth losing your creature later. Alright. Well, attack with a 6/2 Trample Lifelink. Okay, opponent blocks. Kill their creature. If they have a trick, we can always discard Sunforger too. Okay. Opponent takes 6, we gain 6. I honestly think we're just going to hold Sunforger until we either get another artifact, or we have to play it for some reason. Okay, we untap, we draw Plains, play a Plains. We could play and equip Sunforger here. That does play into a Galvanic Blast, which my opponent could have. I'm going to do it. Okay, go to combat, and opponent concedes. Alright, we're 2-0. I'll see you guys in round 3. Alright, round 3, here we go. Oh, good luck, have fun to you too, opponent. Well, we have a lot of creatures in this deck. I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna regret it, but I'm gonna keep. maybe I'm not gonna regret it, because that's insane. So we'll start Golem Skin Gauntlets. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a plain or a forest. Okay, we're gonna play a mountain. Play Onaginata. Pass the turn. We're gonna make a really big Kazul's Toll Collector, and they're gonna go, oh, we're gonna need to block that, and then we're gonna put a Hammer of Nazan on it, and we're gonna be like, JK, it has Indestructible. Alright, opponent is playing a 3-drop. Or something on turn 3, anyway. Alright, Glint Sleeve Artisan for our opponent. They make a servo. Teamer Battle Rage, alright. Play Toll Collector. Oops. Pass the turn. Oh man, it's gonna be 2020 Trample Indestructible. Opponent does have a clear shot, that's bad. We take 4. Alright, give me a creature, please. That's 2 creatures. That's better than 1. Play Blade Splicer. Make a Golem. Pass the turn. Opponent Flicker Wisps to take out the Golem. Alright, sure. I'll make this the scariest Blade Splicer 1/1 you've ever seen. We draw Puresteel Paladin. We do not have Metalcraft. Let me think. We could equip, or we can play Puresteel and wait. I think we could also just play Hammer of Nazan. Oh, we're playing a Plains. I'm gonna play Puresteel. My logic behind this is we can use Tamer Battle Rage to block if we have to, but it makes Hammer of Nazan a lot better than it already is, which is pretty high power level. If our opponent doesn't do anything about it this turn, they are going to be extremely sad in the upcoming turns. Opponent attacks for 5, we're not going to block. They play a Plains. A Crusader of Odric. Okay, we untap. Draw our own Flicker Wisp. Play Hammer. Draw a card. Suit up Puresteel. Suit up Puresteel. Suit up Puresteel. Play Plains. Go to combat. Attack for 10. No blocks. Hope they don't have path. Did we get there? 20 damage? Nice. Ooh. I knew keeping the all equipment hand would pay off. Our greed was rewarded. Alright. Any adjustments for a green-white aggro deck? I think Sanctum Spirit ought to come in. I'm going to drop Fortify, and what was the other card I dropped last time? Gremlins? Yeah, I'm going to drop Gremlins. Man, I can't believe we just did the full combo Puresteel Voltron. That's pretty sweet. This hand is good, but we're going to need to draw some lands. We are on the draw, and our opponent does mulligan to 6. Okay. Opponent just F6 through their first turn. I'm sorry, opponent. That feels really bad. Did they just do it again? Are they reanimating something? What is happening? Play Alabaster Mage? They concede? What happened? I think my opponent just F6 through their combat, or F6 through their turn twice. I've done that. I'm sorry, Magic Corpus. I was hoping that we would have a good game of Magic there, because, that's really disappointing. I'm sorry, everybody. But hey, we 3-0'd. First trophy, Double Masters, comes on Double Masters draft number 8. So we got a treasure chest we're going to open. We get 5 play points, Niambi, Esteemed Speaker, and Agitator Ant. Beginning of your end step, each player may put 2 1/1 counters on a creature they control and goad each creature that had counters put on it this way. Interesting. Alright, well, I hope you all enjoyed this content. I know I did. I'm really sad we didn't get Kemba to put in this deck, because Kemba is the only other equipment-based thing I think that exists that wasn't in this deck, other than obviously swords and the mythic rare equipment and stuff like that. But this deck was sweet. Boros equipment is very strong. I recommend drafting it if it's open. Absolutely, 10 out of 10. Puresteel Paladin makes the deck go from good to insane, so highly recommend. Yeah, no, so if you like this content, leave a like, drop a comment, I'll probably respond, and subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. I really appreciate all of the increased viewership I've been getting on the Double Masters drafts. It seems to be really popular, so there will be more Double Masters content coming up. Yeah, I'll be streaming every Wednesday, excuse me. I'll be streaming every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. Same username on Twitch as you find me here on YouTube. And I'm looking forward to see you all there. So let me know if I made any major mistakes that you guys saw that I didn't already call out. It would be good to know. And yeah, you're all wonderful human beings, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!